pick up where we left off. After I got here to Riverwood, I did come in here to the smith station at nighttime.
Looking for a new blade?
And I grabbed whatever ingots I could underneath the workbench right there and upgraded some of my stuff. What I like to do is, you know, if you upgrade something just a little bit, then it's worth a little more gold, right? Well, this is stuff I was going to sell anyway, all these, like, Imperial swords and crap like this that I collected in Helgen and what have you. You know, throw a few steel ingots and iron ingots into them and make them worth a little bit more money, and then go ahead and pawn them off on old blacksmith guy here. We'll actually talk to him and actually do his little, it's basically a smithing tutorial. You know, he'll have you make an iron dagger, tan some leather, make a hide helm, you know, this type of thing. And, of course, you get to keep it. It's cool. You get a couple extra materials on the side when you're done, so that's all good. Main thing I want to do here is stock up on at least a few extra pieces of gold. Every gold piece counts right here in the first few levels. And also want to see what he has. Odds are he's going to have something that has an enchantment on it. And I won't use it for the enchantment itself. What I'll do is I'll save it so I can go disenchant it and learn that particular enchanting ability. Like this right here. So that's pretty cheap. A couple hundred gold for a frost enchantment, and I'll have that. And then any other items I find like that after this, I can just sell them, you know. So that's win-win. But since I have enough here, go ahead and grab that. Now, some of this stuff, Soul Trap is going to be good to have later, too. But I'm not going to spend all that I've got right now. Maybe I'll get lucky and come across an enchanted item here or there. There's a cave nearby, and we'll get to it here pretty soon, at least before we head to Whiterun. And there are... I know there's at least one master level chest, you know, the big ornate one that usually has, like, you know, an expert or master lock on it. In this case, I don't think this one does, but it does have master level loot.
Actually. How about you smith me an iron dagger? Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead.
What I mean by that are the odds of that that chest having like an enchanted weapon and or armor piece, and maybe rings, some soul gems, and gold, and things of that nature, you know, are a lot higher than in a regular wooden chest somewhere.
Not bad, but it's a little dull. How about you sharpen it up? Just need a bit of metal and the grindstone over there.
Good thing about this right here is, you know, he has you make a dagger, but he gives you more than enough, so you actually get an extra, you know, leather strap and an extra ingot, you know, that type of thing. It's not a big deal, but it's something. Also, each thing that he has you make here is just a little bit of XP towards smithing.
Yeah? This looks good. You put time into your blades. They'll serve you well when you need them. You want to keep helping? How about you make some armor? Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack. Aye.
Alright. Notice all the wolf pelts and stuff that we collected when we got ambushed on the way here with Rayloff. I've already broken those down.
You looking for a new blade?
Threw those off into gear, and then, of course, sold that gear.
A lot of weapons and armor need leather for straps, fittings, that kind of thing. Let's see if you can make a hide helmet. Here's the rest of what you need.
That's a great thing. I really like that in games where, you know, if you come across, you know, a wild animal like, say, a wolf or something like that, there's something more to it than just, of course, killing it because it's trying to kill you. You actually can, you know, take its skin and then make leather out of it, something useful. Take that and upgrade your gear, and take that gear and sell it for more than, you know, what it was initially worth. And I mean, that's all cool. It's all part of the whole economic system. I really dig that.
Is what you need. Huh. I should hire you to be my assistant at this rate. Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench over there. Good day.
Even get some more leather for that, and with that, I can upgrade the stuff that I'm actually using. We're going to go find some hide or fur armor. By the way, hide and fur, I believe, have identical stats. One or the other. It's more of a looks thing.
Sneaky type. You have talent. Keep working at your craft, and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you'll remember me when you're making Skyforge steel, huh?
But if we come across some, say, fur boots or fur shoes, hide boots, we'll compare the stats. But I believe they're identical. I believe they're, it's just it's a cosmetic thing as far as that goes. So when I say I limit my character to fur armor, if we find some hide boots or hide armors, it's all the same, stat-wise. I know there's a particular fur armor, a couple different styles. One of them in particular almost looks like, I don't know, bikini or something. It's pretty funny. Might go seek out one of those. But I think I'm going to make some arrows too, just while I can. I could actually sit here and if, you know, if I was just playing my own game off camera, I'd probably chop up just a crap ton of wood and go sell it. And it's a decent boost now, because what is it, 5 gold per piece? And you get, what, 6 pieces each time you go through a cycle of chopping? Okay, so 30 gold each time. We'll do that 10 times. It takes a minute, you know, sure, but that's 300 gold. And I don't think there's any limit on that. Like the merchants, they have a limit on gold that they actually have to spend on your stuff.
Whatever you need.
But I believe the people that have you chop wood or pick cabbage or, you know, stuff like that, which cabbage and stuff has a limit, you know, it's just what you see growing on the ground. Once it's picked, it's picked. You got to wait till it respawns. But wood, you can just sit there and chop it indefinitely. And if you go way over your carry weight, you can just slow walk to the nearest person that'll buy it from you. And I think they'll buy as much as you have. I've never seen a limit to that. Never tested it. Never sat there and chopped wood for 10 hours, you know, to see, but I don't think there is.
No theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
All right, well, we all know what this is.
I don't know what you overheard, but the Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop. Take a look.
I will. How about buying some of the stuff that the blacksmith wouldn't buy? I don't think he's going to have much in the line of, like, weapons and things. He may carry some enchanted armor or stuff. I think he has some spell books and things. But, anyway, he'll buy things like rings and that kind of nonsense. I probably could have saved a step and gone and found Sven. In fact, I think we'll do that. We'll go find Sven and Faendal, whatever, the elf dude, the archer guy that's always like carrying wood around and stuff around town. They're both vying for Camilla's affection here, okay? And honestly, this is one of the funnier things in the game. It's these notes that they write. Oh, we'll see when we get there. Anyway, I'm gonna go seek them out, and we'll go ahead and do that.
Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament, solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw. You could? I've got some coin coming in from my last shipment. It's yours if you bring my claw back. Now, if you're going to get those thieves, you should head to Bleak Falls Barrow, northeast of town. Yes. So now you don't have to go, do you?
Oh, really? Well, I think your new helper here needs a guide.
No, By the 8, fine. But only to the edge of town.
Actually, Camilla, she'll walk with you to the edge of town sometimes, but most of the time for me, she, like, glitches out. So let's see if she does it here. But, you know, we'll be having a casual stroll and...
We have to go through town and across the bridge to get to Bleak Falls Barrow. You can see it from here, though. The mountain just over the buildings.
Yeah, she's nice to talk to and everything, and then, usually she'll just stop in her tracks and not move anymore. It's annoying.
With nothing but traps, trolls, and who knows what else.
Yeah, she'll stop. Let's see if she gets going again. Sometimes she will, sometimes she won't. Okay, well, that was a short conversation. All right, well, I'm not going to sit there and wrestle with Camilla. If she doesn't want to talk or walk, then so be it. All right, so here's
Faendal
Sven.
thinks he can woo Camilla Valerius away from me. She's already mine, I keep telling him.
Hard not to.
You look like a traveler. Someone that has seen faraway places and heard new stories. At the Bard's College in Solitude, they train bards and skalds like myself. If you go there, talk to Viarmo. He's the headmaster. Camilla Valerius knows I'm the best man in Riverwood. That elf is kidding himself if he thinks she would choose him over me. I've seen him sneaking over to the Riverwood trader to speak with her when I'm not around. He's wasting his time. Is that sarcasm? I've heard better wisecracks from Orgnar. Still, you have a point. Camilla letting Faendal visit her isn't a good thing for me. Here, let me give you a particularly venomous letter. Say it's from Faendal. That should get Camilla to stop inviting the elf over.
Alright, so we'll actually read this letter.
Until next time.
This is absolutely hilarious. It really is. So he's writing this as if it's from Faendal, right? Alright, so, I forgot to read that. Okay, so this is all about, Faendal's supposed elven superiority, and he wouldn't want to befoul his bloodline with Camilla, so she needs to keep her distance. I mean, come on, man. Who writes this stuff? This is classic. This is just epic stuff right here. Okay, so we're going to go find Faendal, and we're going to see what note he writes. And I think it's even better. I think he's even slicker how he makes Sven come across in his letter.
Got rooms and food.
It's awesome,
Drink
man.
too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
Oh, this is where we can
There
get our
have been
brotherhood
whispers.
thing started.
A boy up in Windhelm, name of Aventus Aretino, been trying to contact the Dark Brotherhood.
Hell yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Have you seen that shrine of Azura? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see. Word is, Ulfric's Stormcloak escaped from the Imperials. War's only gonna get worse now. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. Long as you clean up, you know how to use it, right? Mix a couple of ingredients together, see what happens. A little wheat and blisterwort makes a healing potion, if you didn't know. We have plenty of ingredients for sale, too. Looking to blow yourself up? I hear that's what magic does to you. There's a college in Winterhold that teaches magic, unless that blew up, too. Be a lot safer just to have the Jarl's wizard teach you a thing or two. Nobody trusts those mages way up north at their college. Gods only know what they do up there. We've got something of a love triangle here in Riverwood. Faendal and Sven, both vying for Camilla's affections. All right then.
I got really lucky with the Jarl's bounty there. Or, you know, the inn mission, whatever you want to call it. You know, when you ask them if they have any work type of thing. Halted Stream Camp is, it's just an amazing place to go for gold. You can find million mammoth tusks there if you want to give the mammoth tusks to what's her name, Isolde in Whiterun. There's a million iron ore veins there, it seems like. Lots of stuff. Master chest, skill book or two. Just it's a treasure trove, it really is. Okay, now these right here, the damage magic regen, these are worth quite a bit, considering it's just what, a spider egg and a mountain flower. You can find that crap, and oh geez, what are they worth? Well, it depends on what the merchants will actually give you for it, but I know it's somewhere between 50 and 100 gold, you know, actual price, which you can actually get. But that's decent early on, like really decent. So if you wonder why I collected all those spider eggs before I escaped Helgen, then that's why. Make as many of those as I can. I was thinking it was Red Mountain Flower for some reason, though, but whatever. Doesn't matter. It's all good. Now, actually, when we get back to the, to talk to Camilla, we'll go ahead and sell those off, too. Let's see if she came down here to the end of the street. Yeah, she went back inside. Well, I didn't mean to hurt her feelings, but she didn't have to just stop there and look at me real stupid. We could have just stood there all day. I don't have time for all that, so whatever. That's a recent thing too. When I first played the game, we could take our nice stroll down to the end of the street, and she'd show me how to get up to Bleak Falls Barrow, and yeah. Okay, here's Faendal. All right, let's see what note he gives us.
Unmatched in all of Skyrim, to be sure.
What is that blowhard up to now? So, he thinks he can turn Camilla against me. Two can play at this. Here, give this letter to Camilla and tell her it's from Sven. Let's see what she thinks of him after reading that.
All right, let's see what this is.
Farewell.
All right, this is just epic stuff right here. It's made my day. Okay, so it's like I long to let's see. I long to have you cook for me from my stove and wash my laundry as and take care of my home as I wander. Come on, man. The wandering bard thing. Come on, man. That's awesome. So he's gonna keep Camilla at home as the house. Anyway, these guys shooting darts at each other. It's awesome, man. Like I say, who thinks of this stuff?
Mark, you're not from around here. That makes two of us. What? What are you talking about? Why, that jealous idiot. Thought he could just manipulate me into never seeing Sven again? Thank you for telling me the truth. You should speak to Sven. I'm sure he'll want to thank you too for defending his name. Good luck. Lucan and I will be waiting for you back in the shop.
I'm gonna go and see if I can sell these potions. Now, honestly, had I gone to Faendal first, and gone to Sven second, then I could give her Sven's letter as if it really was from Faendal, and she'd have said, "You tell that long-eared ass I don't ever want to see him in my store again," or something like that. It's awesome. But if you ask why I sided with Sven, it's not, well, I hate Sven because he's a bard, and I mean that kind of speaks for itself. But well, I'm going to use Sven later. If I ever want a really good sacrifice option, for Boethia, right? Or someone to feed to my ebony blade. Okay, Sven's right at the top of my list.
Old spell books laying about. If you want more, you'll have to go to the College of Winterhold.
So anyway, Faendal's actually probably a better follower as far as that goes. I don't know, but doesn't really matter. I don't really care for either one, to tell you the truth. But I can use Sven later, so he can become my follower now that I've done him a solid. And we'll have him faithfully follow us to Boethia's shrine if we choose to do the Daedric stuff. I don't know if we'll do the Daedric quests or how many of them or whatever. I don't know how thorough and stuff will be. I'm sure you guys are familiar with pretty much all of them by now.
This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors, the Imperials. That letter ought to convince Camilla to never speak to Faendal ever again.
Hey Sven,
Sure.
Let me ask you a favor.
What can I do for you?
Can you kindly shut the fuck up?
Sure. My voice could use a rest.
Yeah, it really could. Sorry. Okay, anyway.
You look like a traveler.
So about that letter.
Someone that has seen faraway places and heard new stories. Now that's what I like to hear. Good work. I think you deserve some gold from my tips at the inn. Lead the way.
Actually, he can tag along right now. I could use somebody as a pincushion for a little while. I think we'll go do some skill book hunting. How does that sound? There is a mine down the street, and I will get to that, but that probably might take a minute. We might just do that on the next one, and then we'll head off to a Whiterun or something. But for right now, let me see. Get all my weapons sorted. I think having shuffled through a bunch of my inventory, some of my sets are kind of screwed up. It's much nicer to get to the end of the game where you have, the gear you're going to use, and you're just pretty much settled on that. Enchantment's maxed, blacksmithing's maxed. You've got your ideal in-game kick-ass gear, and just run with it. You don't have to switch out and change this and rename that and upgrade this and blah, blah, blah. So, for right now, I'll just kind of roll with whatever I got. Now, I'll tell you what, where the game maybe drags a little, or I'm going through areas that I've been 1,000 times doing the same thing kind of over and over again, or whatever, and anyone who's played this game a lot, you're going to have some quests and stuff where it's just kind of, you do it off, it's almost muscle memory. You just, go here, go there, talk to this person, fast track through the conversation, go on about your business, get your stuff and leave, type of thing. There's going to be some of that. It's great the first couple times around or whatever, but after about the 15th or 20th or millionth time, you know, it's like, okay, you know, it's kind of, you just kind of go through it without thinking or whatever. I'll tell you what, to break that up, thank goodness they never changed this. They never went with somebody new on the music, because the music here just keeps the game rolling. It can put you in a zone. Well, I can speak for myself. It puts me in a zone. I can get off and just be in the world, even if I'm not really doing anything interesting per se, right? Or even do anything new or whatever. I just wandering, picking flowers or something, you know, looking for crafting materials, looking for a location, trying to find a new cave that you hadn't seen, or even just whatever. And you're wandering around, and, you know, maybe you haven't had any combat in a while, or this or that, or blah, blah, blah. Just the music alone and the whole environment and stuff. If nothing else, Skyrim is consistent. From one end to the other, you've got that cold, rugged, hard feel to it, and it's just very Nordic, I guess, or I don't know. But it definitely has a flavor in it, and they never depart from that. They stay true to that through the whole game. Through the dialogue and the way the characters act and talk and stuff. And I mean, they even go so far as when you meet an Imperial, they seem like an Imperial. When you meet a Thalmor or whatever, it's not just the way they're dressed. You could close your eyes and just listen to them. And the way they're acted, right, and whatever's going on at the time, they just seem out of place. Like you don't belong here, you know? And they, wow, you know, if you stop and really look at the whole forest, right? You know, and not just the trees, right? Forest of the trees. I guess that's my analogy of the day here lately. But if you really stop to look at it, it's pretty amazing. A lot of thought, a lot of art, a lot of creativity really goes into it. And if you ever doubt what Legendary's like, this is what a stupid level 1 bandit's arrows can do to your face. They can, if they hit you with a critical, they can, well, I don't think a regular bandit would one-shot me, but like an outlaw right now would easily one-shot me. Guaranteed. On probably a regular hit. Critical would not only one-shot me, but send me sliding across the floor, literally. But yeah, even the combat music in the background right here, they stay true to the whole feel and flavor of the game. They definitely have that. So whatever writing differences and whatever things are added or missing from the other game, blah blah blah, it's a standalone game. I guess that's pretty cool, man, if you think about it. For them to have a series where each installation of the game stands essentially by itself. You know, as long as it stays true to the lore and stuff from the other games, you know, Skyrim is a different area, it's a different realm, it's a different country. I mean, they have considered themselves really not part of the Empire, and I don't blame them. They certainly wouldn't want anything to do with the Empire now, you know, and they're basically allegiance, you know, to the Thalmor and all that, who don't mean anybody any good. I mean, you know, the Nords can actually stand from up on top of their mountain and look down on Cyrodiil and say, y'all are a bunch of idiots. What the hell is wrong with you? Do y'all even stop to think about what you're doing as you're doing it? You know, and the answer would be no. They couldn't, or else they wouldn't be doing it. It's, you know, it doesn't even make sense. And so the Nords definitely, you know, obviously they're dealing with their own problems too. But, you know, the Empire has something to do with that too. It's, you know, Ulfric's main problem with the king at the time was his allegiance and willingness and even desire to basically sell out Skyrim and hand it over to the Imperials, which would mean handing it over to Thalmor, essentially, right? Because the Imperials, you know, they can be all bluff and bluster, but when it really comes down to it, they're just, you know, weak as wet toilet paper. I mean, really. And they won their fight, and then surrendered after it was won. If you think about it, what they did, you know, with the elves and what was the name of that friggin' war? Where they signed the White Concordat, you know, the treaty and all that with the elves. What was the name of that main? Anyway, they essentially won that. You know, they pushed the elves back. All they needed was just a little extra push. But they basically said, "We're tired. We quit. Whatever you want, you can have it." And I was, wow. So yeah, you know, definitely it's worlds apart. And so I see this game being different, and they did that masterfully too. So I will thank a couple of my viewers and just some time setting aside to actually think about it and look at it from a new light and say, okay, we'll take it as its own entity, and, you know, what do you have here? I mean, it's definitely part of the Elder Scrolls. There's enough Elder Scroll-ish stuff, you know, to keep it there in the game, but it stands alone. You know, it does its own thing, and it's beautiful. It really is. So I'm actually going to enjoy this playthrough and sharing it with you guys even more because of you guys. So, and you know who you are. So, there you have it. And you know, that's said. And so now let's just do this thing. I hope you enjoyed this quality too. I was looking at a playback just to see how it's coming across. I was really impressed with the Fallout 3. Now, you know, I don't have, you know, big fancy high dollar monitor and all this other stuff, but what I'm getting here, it looks good to me. Quality wise, I mean, I'm on PS3, but it looks really nice quality compared to some console footage I've seen, and I know that a lot of that has to do with, you know, the, what do they call it, the HDMI protection and all this stuff, and having to circumvent that and stuff. Well, the one I'm using, the Diamond HD capture card I'm using, it doesn't do 1080i. It only does no, it doesn't do 1080p. It only goes up to 1080i, due to the fact that you use basically an HD AV cable set. And I want to get all off in technical stuff because I half-ass don't really know much of what I'm talking about. I just know that it works. And the thing is Skyrim on PlayStation is 720, right? But you're getting 1080 quality here. In fact, if you look down at the bottom right in that little gear-looking thing, you know, under settings for your view box, at least on PC. I don't know if this works on mobile. But if you look on your PC down there at the bottom right, you can see a little settings thing, and you can set this at 1080. And if it's not there, go ahead and try clicking that if you haven't done that already. And it's not a real drastic difference, but it brings some clarity to it. And I think the quality is nice. I'm really happy with it. I think I got a real bargain with that Diamond, because it allows me to record and stuff without having to circumvent a lot of that HDMI nonsense and still record in HD. I think that's really cool. Take that all day long. But anyway, so I'm hoping you're liking that too. Far cry from my first videos. I mean, those of you who've been around since the beginning, you know. The original ones, yeah. I mean, you know, I didn't have anything to work with back then. And I lucked up on this particular capture card, decided to give it a try. It was a much smaller investment than the other capture cards, and I think I'm getting twice the return from some of the stuff I've seen. This, in some ways, looks PC quality, in my opinion, you know. I guess I'm a little biased because it's my stuff, but you know, I look at it, trying to look at it objectively and say, okay, well, you know, if I was viewing this, would I like the quality of this if, you know, if I hadn't made this video? And I could honestly say, yeah, I'd be real happy with this. Anyway, so there we have it. So we're gonna have fun with this, and all right. So where I'm going now, those of you who've been here before, and you know, there's a little bit of backstory to this. Another beautiful feature is the little tiny stories within the stories. You know, you go find a location and it has a story in and of itself. It's not really related to the rest of the game. It fits in with the game, but it's not part of the main story or even any little side quest. You'll just find a little note or a book, and if you look around in the place, maybe it's a big cave or a house or, you know, whatever, you know, a ruin, a castle ruin or something like that, and you'll find out something happened there. You know, there was a war, there was a defection, there was a mutiny, there was you know, mages conspiring to take over the world, but their Daedric summons turned on them, and so you'll find maybe a ruin full of, you know, Daedric monsters, and you find out why they're there, and, you know, all this type of stuff. And it's just a little thing, and if you don't ever come across it, you're not really missing anything, but it's neat to stumble on that kind of stuff, you know. And anyway, so this lady Anise, from the gist of it, she's going to join a hag coven and become a hag raven, right? Or something like that. And she's asking for, what's her name, Helga? Now, Helga is a name I recognize in the game, I just can't put a face on it. It seems like it's an NPC that we'll meet in the game, and I'll try to remember, should we come across someone named Helga, and see if maybe there's any clue linking her to this. And, oh, wow, you hear that flapping around? Okay, well, that's the old engine at work right there. Apparently something's glitched, either under the house or something. I think loading out of here and coming back in will probably fix that, but sometimes when you hear that, you look around and you'll see stretchy dead things, you know, flopping all over the place and zipping across the screen and jumping in and out of the ground and stuff like that. Sometimes it's actually funny to watch. Alright, so, you know, good thing about this, too, is this is an early enchanting table. If you want an enchanting table, as soon as you get to Riverwood, well, just go across the stream, but just be careful. When we leave here, Anise is going to be hostile, because she's going to know we've discovered her secret here. Wow, look at that. A point of enchanting for each item. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you wonder why I'm not going to be necessarily selling most of, really, if any of my enchanted stuff early on, if I can squeeze the charge out of it, you know, learn something from it, if I can disenchant it, I probably will. Now, once you've learned it, you know, you don't need to. So if you get 20 fire weapons, take the cheapest one and break that one down, and keep all the you know, the other 19 more expensive ones to sell, because, or use, or whatever, because you know, once you learn it, it's learned. You can only learn it one time, but believe you me, I'll be looking to disenchant things before I even bother to sell them, first and foremost. Alright, so I already know Anise is going to be hostile, and she's, I'm just weak as well water right now. You know, I'm going to have trouble poking mud crabs with a stick as it sits right now, and she can probably two-shot me with, yeah, with whatever spells, and, okay. Look, I summoned my dog to help, not block me in here. And she summoned a dog of her own. I'm glad we're not past level 5 or 6 or so. Or else that would probably be a fire atronach, probably. What kind of creatures enemies summon scales with you? Another reason I say I don't, you know, especially on harder difficulties, right? And especially with my playstyle, I do not go into Riverwood and just start smithing everything that I can possibly smith to get my blacksmithing up early. No. No. Getting 5 extra points you can smith into your weapons is not worth the 1,000 extra points the enemies will start doing to you once you've leveled up 4 or 5 times. And you don't really have the gear to hang with it. And the skills, because see, right along with smithing needs to be one-handed, or what, you know, whatever. I'm using one-handed, so I need to have my one-handed skills up there. Some points into armor, you know, and things along, you know, things of that nature. And if I just, you know, bump my smithing way through the roof, and all the enemies around me are coming at me with legendary level 15 skills, and I've still got my little level 2 and 3 combat skills trying to fight back, I'm gonna get one shotted, and I am not gonna do any damage to these fools at all, you know. And so, yeah, that's my logic for not doing that. Smithing will come; it'll come eventually. Hopefully, it'll just kind of it'll scale with me. I try to stay somewhat balanced, work with things, you know. If I find myself over-leveling some of my main skills, it's nothing to switch to something like a two-handed weapon unless, you know, you're fighting something, you know, really heavy, like, you know, a few Draug or Death Lords or something like that. But, you know, if you're just out fighting Skeevers or basic bandits and things like that, it's nothing to switch to a weapon I'm not using and work on it. Maybe throw on some heavy armor and work on it. Just have it. Just wear it and just play with it for a while. And the points will come. Points will come just in fighting. And instead of grinding it later for levels, just throw it on here and there as I go. You know, it's something I tend to do. And so, you know, especially early on, you just hit something a couple times with your two-handed weapon or whatever weapon you're not normally using, and you're going to level it, you know. It doesn't take much early on. Later on, when you get into the 40s and 50s on up, yeah, you have to grind it, you know. I know that, but anyway. There's some of that to consider. You might see me switch armor here and there. I might throw on an iron set just for giggles. But as far as what I'm going to be playing with, I have to, you know, decide what I'm putting my points into. And here I pretty much decided on the fur armor, and we'll dual wield, so we'll go with one-handed. Dual wielding the one-handed really is it's good for DPS. I mean, it's good DPS output. It's really nice damage. It has that berserker feel to it. It really does, especially once we really start dumping points into our stamina. Once our stamina gets into the 250, 300 range on up, not to mention maybe armor buffs or what else we might decide to throw in there. Yeah, it's nice. It's pretty nasty. Talking, you can just spam your power attacks. You can sit there and just go to town. Alright, speaking of leveling, let me go ahead and do this. Alright, this is one thing I'm going to have to train in. This is the one downside to playing on Legendary. You can't really take hits. Okay, and so if you want to sit there and train your armor, which requires taking hits, you really can't do so, not without dying, and it's hard to heal as fast as you get hurt. Something to consider, so that's probably something I'll have to train in. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will get off into our cave on the next one. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. For the whole Let's Play, click that image there in the middle. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.